Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer. Today on our 2021 Toyota Highlander, we're going to be checking out the Kuat NV 2.0 hitch mounted bike rack. So my first impression of the rack on the back of the Highlander, I think it looks really good actually. These Kuats are top notch when it comes to functionality and the appearance, and I really think it shows well on the back of the Toyota. I also like how high it sits off the ground. You know, it's relatively high off the ground, and that's gonna, do a good job of help keeping our bikes protected, and we're not gonna have to worry about hitting curbs and things like that. With that said, one of my favorite things about this setup is you're gonna be able to kind of grow into it, if that makes sense, or change it to meet your particular needs. So today we have a 2-bike version that we're showing off, but there's also a 4-bike version. And the cool thing is, if you're unsure if you need that 4-bike version just yet, you can actually get add-ons and kind of, add on as you need to meet those particular needs that you may have in the future. With that said too, all of those options are going to be available in 3 different colors. So one of the big questions that I figured I would address kind of right off the bat here is if you're still going to be able to have access to the back of your Highlander. Are you going to be able to open up the hatch? And that's understandable because obviously with the rack and bikes on it, you don't have a ton of room. Well, the good news is you can, and this actually lowers down out of the way even when you have your bikes on. There's going to be a lever right here that you can pull down, and you can kind of lower the rack down. You're going to be able to come around and open up your hatch and get whatever you might need in and out of the back of your SUV. So the way that the rack is going to secure your bike is super simple but really effective. You're going to have just a strap here that runs across your back wheel, and here in the front you're going to have a wheel hook, and what's going to help support everything is this Cradle. What's super cool about this setup is, it's going to allow you to use carbon frame bikes and things like that because we're not going to have any frame contact. And not only that, you're going to be able to use a ton more. Pretty much any style bike is going to work. So here we have a road bike, but the wheel Cradle is also going to allow you to use, a mountain bike, something like that, as well as a fat tire bike. I want to mention though, with the fat tire bike, you are going to have to use an adapter. It's more or less just a bigger strap to help keep it secure. With that said, if we move towards the back of our wheel tray, what's nice is we're going to have an integrated lock, okay? And you can swing that around, secure your bike, and give you a little peace of mind, when you stop at a gas station or swing into a restaurant to get a bite to eat before or after trails. You're not going to have to constantly kind of peek outside and make sure no one's running off with your bikes. The way to get the bike removed is really simple too. I mean, it don't get much easier. We're just gonna have to loosen up the strap. You always want to start at the back tire and just swing that out of the way. And then if we move to the front, you want to make sure you have a grip on your bike. You can push this button, lift up on the wheel hook, swing it down. We're gonna have a lot of space to grab the bike and go hit the trails. I do want to mention, whenever you're not using the rack, it is a good idea just to kind of replace that strap, as well as fold the wheel hook back in. That way it's not hanging out or anything like that. And something you need to kind of keep in the back of your head is whenever you have the rack on the back of your Highlander, it is going to extend the overall length of it. And if we measure to find out exactly how much, we'll go from the bumper to the very edge of the rack. Looks like it's going to be right at about 33 inches. So not taking up a ton of space, but if you have a small garage or something like that, something you want to think about before you just go pulling right in. With that said, when you're not using the rack, it can be stored in an upright position to make it more compact. If you push down on the lever, you can flip it up and holds it up nice and tight, so it's not taking up a lot of space. The furthest point will probably be right here. And if we take that measurement, Like this, it looks like it's only going to add about 16 inches. So really shouldn't give you any issues at all when you do go to pull into that garage or maybe even a tight spot. Something that is really clever is Kuat kind of gives us a workstation as well. It's kind of built into the rack. That's what this arm is here for. And to use it, you open that up. You can pull this up kind of to your desired height. Lock it back down. Then if you twist this knob, it's going to open up. We can set our bike in there, kind of cinch it down. And that's going to give us a good spot to do any maintenance or repairs, you know, maybe tighten the chain up, whatever the case may be. You know, it brings it up a little more eye level, gets it off the ground, and makes it a little easier to work on. The rack is going to come with a locking hitch pin. That way it stays secure to your Highlander. No one can just pull it right out. And it is going to work with those 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube openings. Now, if we kind of move here towards the end, there's going to be a knob there. And when you tighten that down, what it's going to do is eliminate any slop or play in that connection point. And that's going to help keep things nice and quiet inside of your Toyota like it should be. To give you an example on how that's going to work, say if we're going down the road, maybe hitting some bumps, you can see that the rack is going to move with our Highlander and not on its own. Now, if you're anything like me, you always want to see, you know, what you're interested in actually working or in action. So let's go ahead, load up a couple bikes, take it out on the test course, and see how it performs.
First, we'll take it onto our slalom course. This will show you the side-to-side action, such as making turns or evasive maneuvers. Now we're at the alternating speed bumps. This will show you how it looks driving on uneven pavement or potholes. Finally, we're at the solid speed bumps, which simulates going into your driveway or parking lots.
So at the end of the day, you know, a wreck you really can't go wrong with. These things are so well built, they're going to operate like they should and last you a really long time. And that'll finish up our look at of the Kuat NV 2.0 hitch-mounted bike rack on our 2021 Toyota Highlander.